Hey there guys, Portal Master here, and today I want to talk about a brand new development that has happened over the past weekend over at Activision Blizzard, and that is the big news that one of the subsidiary companies, Vicarious Visions, has been acquired by Blizzard. Now, anyone who is a longtime Skylanders Crash or Spyro fan will know that Vicarious Visions is essentially a small game development company that works underneath Activision. Activision has owned them for quite some time now. Vicarious Visions is responsible for co-founding the Skylanders franchise, independently responsible for Skylanders Swap Force, Skylanders Superchargers, responsible for the Crash Insane trilogy, and also responsible for the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remaster. Well, after working under Activision for quite a while, they have officially been shifted over to Blizzard. This is a massive change, as it will change the dynamic of Activision and their game release schedule quite significantly, as well as change Blizzard's focus going forward. Now, as an Activision-centered channel, I'm not going to be diving into exactly what is going to change when they go over to Blizzard. Essentially, they are retaining most of the staff and just changing what they're working on. Tony Hawk Pro Skater seems to be Vicarious Visions' last project for Activision, and it seems like everything going forward will 100% be for the Blizzard division. It looks like they're working on a Diablo 2 remaster, while a separate team continues to work on Diablo Immortal, and a separate team continues to work on Diablo 4. Essentially, that is what they're doing. They're going to be helping out Blizzard for the foreseeable future with all of their projects. And this has some pretty major ramifications on Activision. As you know, Activision and Toys for Bob seem to be the golden boys in creating the Spyro and the Crash games. So losing Vicarious Visions has some big effects on what Toys for Bob is going to be responsible for, as this basically only leaves Beanox and Toys for Bob to juggle the Crash Team Racing franchise, the Spyro franchise, and the Crash franchise. It will be very, very difficult for Toys for Bob to handle this on their own without significant changes or expansion to the companies. Now, presumably, Crash Team Racing 2 is being worked on by Beanox right now, so they're probably out of commission for working on any type of Spyro or Crash game unless they've been doing it in the shadows. Considering that Crash 4 has just released and we expect Spyro to be released this year, we can only personally believe that Spyro is being solely worked on by Toys for Bob, which is crazy to think about the fact that Toys for Bob will be releasing annual installments for Crash and Spyro at this rate, and then maybe only have one off year for Crash Team Racing. This could mean a lot of things. It could mean Crash and Spyro having to be released every 4 years instead, so that they can actually have some breathing room. That personally would not surprise me. We get a Crash 4 in 2020, we get a Spyro in 2021, and then we get the next Crash game not until 2024 or something like that, and then maybe another Spyro game 2 years following that. It's hard to say for sure what could happen, but it does look like Toys for Bob is either going to need to majorly restructure or hire a lot more people. Now, we have seen Toys for Bob hiring for a lot more people in the past, but those have mostly been for a multiplayer game of some type. It seems to have some type of network engineer involved, which doesn't make a lot of sense considering that we don't expect Spyro to be a multiplayer game, and now that we're finding out that Toys for Bob is probably not going to be working on any other franchise other than just Spyro and Crash at this point, unless there's going to be a major new player involved, it's very, very confusing. And this is where I want to start diving into the Skylanders rumors that we've been hearing since, as you know, this is a Skylanders channel. So this means a lot of things. The first and foremost thing is that Vicarious Visions will never make another Skylanders game unless the company decides to restructure itself again. That is the first ramification of this changeover, but I think that there is potentially some more stuff that could be the case, and I actually think that this change makes the Skylanders rumors look better, not worse, and you'll have to stay with me here on why I think this might be the case. Now, what's really strange about this whole ordeal is that we know Activision wants to make more games. So, with Vicarious Visions leaving the party, how exactly is Activision going to accomplish this? And I think that there are a few ways that this can be done, and the main way involves outsourcing. So when I say outsourcing, what I mean is conscripting a third-party company to help with the work. or hiring a brand new company that we haven't heard of, or opening up a separate studio altogether. And this lines up with what we've heard about the Skylanders rumors up to this point. See, our leaker has claimed that whatever this new Skylanders game is, it will be partially developed by Toys for Bob and mostly developed by a third-party company. And this lines up exactly with what just happened. Seriously, this was my first thought when I heard about this, and I think a lot of people, when they heard the news that Vicarious Visions would be departing Activision, got all up in arms and were like, well, this doesn't look good for the rumors at all. And I have to say, quite the opposite. I actually think this makes the rumors look even better than they did before. And, you know, maybe I'm crazy for saying that. And obviously this doesn't confirm the rumors or anything like that. And honestly, it doesn't really make them much more likely to be real than before. But it isn't a deal breaker. And in fact, it does line up with what we've been told. I expect annual kids games from Activision at this point. I would actually be totally shocked if that were not to be the case. I don't know if they'll ever make more than one a year like we would probably see if Skylanders was a reintroduced franchise, but at the very least, they will not be downsizing the release schedule for these games. I absolutely cannot see it. But one thing I think is interesting about this is that we have assumed that they're hiring for probably one of two things over at Toys for Bob by hiring these senior network engineers, as they've been called. We have assumed that they have been hiring for a multiplayer game. And a multiplayer game is realistically probably only one of three things at this point. Either it's a Crash Team Racing game, and we believe that to be under development by Beanox, or it's a Crash Bash Party game, which is also a possibility. Toys for Bob could be developing that, or it's a Skylanders game. And I suppose there's also a fourth option that it could be some type of new game we haven't heard of, or some way to bring online to the new Spyro game that hasn't yet released. But I believe that last one is probably very unlikely on both accounts. Considering now that Vicarious Visions has left the chat as it will, I don't see it very likely that Toys for Bob is going to be trying to take on new projects besides the ones they already have. Maybe this new online thing, whatever it is, we know they're taking on at least one new project, be it Skylanders, be it a Crash Team Racing, be it a Crash Bash. We know they're taking on one, but I can't realistically see them taking on two, sheerly because of the fact that Vicarious Visions will no longer be there to support them. And I think that is a key detail here. Overall, it's difficult to see what the future holds for Toys for Bob and for Vicarious Visions. This is a very big changeover, and I'm really interested to see how this affects things. Overall, we know that they're gone, we know they can't help anymore, and we know that Toys for Bob and Beanox are now on their own, and it's going to be interesting to see how they juggle that. So, what I'm curious about is what you guys think. How do you think this affects our prospects of potentially getting a brand new Skylanders game? Do you think this affects the rumors? Do you think it affects anything at all? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Portal Master. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Check out all my social medias linked down in the description below. Also be sure to check out the Discord server that is linked down there too. That's all for now, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks again for watching. I just wanted to take some time to thank my generous patrons on Patreon, including Haley, Adrian, WOSA, True Blue Dogemon, and AngryTedC.